Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary. 2 miles from my house.
Let's stand next to it. How are you?
Good, how's it going? The tour here? We don't have a guided tour.
Okay, that's good.
Just a walk around.
Okay, sounds good. Where do we begin?
Yeah, there's an entry fee.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Let me just check though if somebody's available to do a guided tour. Because our tours right now is for reservation.
We don't need that, really. We just need...
Coming. Oh, I see. Sorry. We live down the road. We've just never been here. He does.
Oh, you live
Yeah.
out here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then you can go for free because you're a County
Oh.
Kitchener resident.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll just have you fill out a waiver.
Yeah, how exciting. Yeah, he's up down the up the road, and we had to stop in because he's never been over here.
Just moved here recently?
He's been here a couple years.
Okay.
Look at these.
But his friend works here too. Shannon?
Yeah,
Oh,
Shannon.
Shannon.
Yeah.
He's my...
You're the
Yeah.
people we're expecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he told you?
Actually
Yeah.
told our boss yesterday that you guys are coming in.
Oh, cool. Yeah. He...
Oh, great. But as we're waiting, I'll
Yeah,
just
take
have
your
one
time.
of you fill out a waiver,
Yeah.
please.
Isn't this neat? Look at this. Pocket watches.
Shannon's friends that are here for a tour, they're here.
That's fine. Take your time. Yeah.
Okay, copy. They can wait. Copy that.
See how they make the roof? Isn't that neat?
Oh yeah,
Big old timbers.
the square in the middle.
I think I want to make one of these.
Okay. You should be
Use a
all
pile of
set.
logs and
You guys
stack 'em up.
can Move around here or wait outside in the courtyard for Paul.
Don't. And when you wait outside, it's this way.
It's the
Or
door
through
back
this-
there. It says courtyard restaurant.
Thank you.
Hey, how exciting! Oh, we should get a book for Liv, the baby. Oh, look. Look at her.
There's black ones. It's like Buster.
You could sponsor him. No, it does.
That's a dog.
No, it's a wolf. Maybe next. I'm excited to see. Oh, look at the little paw print. Alright, wanna wait in the courtyard? Ooh, look at these mugs. This is a good gift. You don't use a coffee mug, do you? Would your mom like a mug?
She like a mug?
Yeah. Some coasters?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Get her a wolf.
You get her a wolf. That's
She's like
true.
a mug. Yeah.
I take it back. She wants a sponsor a wolf.
Let me get my nieces a wolf on the way out.
Here you are. Little white ones. Oh, how about that one? Ew. They're so cute.
Oh, there's a big one.
Oh, that's. Have you ever found a little kid? Big ones are better.
Out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shannon. Hi, can I film it?
Absolutely. Please do enjoy. We encourage it actually because it means More people see the sanctuary, the animals.
Awesome. Well, you'll be on YouTube tonight then.
I try to. I take photos.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'll have fun.
Well, welcome. I'm glad we could do this for you guys.
Thank
Show
you.
around this lovely sanctuary.
Oh my
All the
goodness.
we have currently. We can start right on over here with Quinn and Leica. Very difficult to distract her. Doing a little bit of work because we're in the monsoon season.
Yeah?
To make sure that we don't get any more flooding.
Ah,
We haven't had any flooding in about, I'd say, 3 years.
yeah?
We've been lucky with monsoons recently, so don't be too cautious.
I can't wait to the monsoons.
Honestly, me too. I love monsoon season. Part of the reason why.
Some,
Are you all open?
He is. He's right at the Kansas City. We're kind of like, but we live right up the road. He's never been here, so.
This is your first time?
Yeah.
Welcome to all of
I'm
you.
fine all the time.
Well, the nice thing about being Sarkin means I can do more of a VIP experience, so we can go behind the scenes.
ah,
The only stipulation, this one's important naturally, common sense rules.
yeah,
No sticking things to the fence, even though he looks very friendly.
yeah.
I'll just close
Boy, he's a big boy, huh? Look at that.
Locked in for being fed to the wolves.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Okay, we'll start right at the corner over here with Mr. Zane. Yeah.
He's big, isn't he? Hi, big boy.
He's quite a good boy, but he gets some very frustration. So unless you're kind of in the no crowd and one of his besties, he won't let you actually pet him through the fence.
Oh.
But yeah, you're welcome to put your hand up. Just don't stick fingers through, especially with him. You can see what I'm talking about. You see instinct, very impressive.
Yeah. Oh, hi, sweetheart.
So funny enough, Zane here is just a low content wolf dog, which
Yeah.
essentially there's 3 categories of wolf dogs. Lows are from 1 to 50% wolf, and then
Okay.
a mid is 50 to all the way to 84.9, and a high content is 85% plus. So many times a genetic test cannot actually possibly determine whether or not an animal is a pure wolf. It'll always give you just kind of an estimate or an upper epsilon. So the maximum it can ever detect is a 95% plus with no trace dog breeds. So for all intents and purposes, genetically, pure wolf.
Yeah.
Still considered a wolf dog though in many ways, just because they come from a wolf dog line.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a great grandfather that might have had some dog in them.
Yeah.
In Zane's case, not a lot of wolf in him at all. He's
Yeah.
only 22.8% wolf. So
Oh.
he gets the title even though he looks like a dog, acts like a dog,
Yeah.
and for every possible conceivable way, he's pretty much just a dog.
Yeah, for sure. Do you
That's
ever
what we
mix?
see.
Do you ever mingle them?
Absolutely, yeah. So he's single right now by his own choice, technically, because he's had a
Excuse me,
lot of
sorry.
feelings. And mainly because he just comes on very, very strong.
Yeah.
The one of the former gals that we tried him with was named Butternut Squash, and she's just a normal dog, just dropped
Yeah.
off on our doorstep. And we're trying to get her some companionship and him at the same time.
Yeah.
And as soon as we brought her into this little sub-enclosure area for a little bit of a greeting to kind of play in e-harmony with wolves, basically he just started screaming his little noggin off at her until she decided that she no longer wanted to enter the enclosure.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. His only crime is being too friendly. That's not true. He's had a lot of failed pairings just from him being too protective of things as well.
Oh, I see.
But we do try our best. We're always trying to find the perfect matches for different animals,
Yeah.
and sometimes it really just depends on, how they're feeling in the moment, their current health state.
Yeah.
So for the reason that Zane is here primarily, we typically specialize in more of our higher content animals or our higher difficulty animals, because typically we have the infrastructure, staff, and experience to be able to actually take care of kind of the ones that can't really go anywhere else.
Yeah.
The reason that he's here, despite just being low content, and we save lives regardless of the content level. That's not really a variable to us at all. For him, he's got something called deneuromyelopathy, which is unfortunately a neurodegenerative disease that impacts on the neurons fire throughout the body. So as he ages, his back leg will progressively go to start healing his paralysis.
That's the same thing at, what do they call them? The ones with the little thing around their neck. Those big Saint Bernards, they usually get that.
Ah, yes, yes.
Is that the same thing?
It's very, very common in them, especially. A lot of larger dog breeds are. Oh, sing your song, buddy.
Good little buzz.
But yes.
I always say I'm not afraid of dogs, but you know, if that was a wild dog in the woods, you might be afraid of him.
Right.
Aw.
And then, funny enough, that's kind of how he got to us. He's actually a local from Gallup, and he was roaming around freely, and no one really knows his true origin. So we just kind of received a call from a local shelter in Gallup saying, "We've got this animal. We think he might be a wolf dog." They sent us a photo, and we said, "Maybe."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the low content, really many times they
he does look
exactly
wolf.
like a normal dog or a husky. That was the case with him. So we said, okay, use an embark genetic test. It's one of the only very few on the market that can actually determine reliably between wolf and dog genetics. So it came back with a 22.8%. So he gained the moniker of wolf dog, which is unfortunate for him, quite frankly. It meant he couldn't be adopted out to a normal home. In Gallup, it's completely legal to wolf dog of any kind. But because the legality is so strange, especially around these animals, no one can decide what they are. Are they domestic animals? Are they wild animals? Are they something in between? We don't have laws for in between. So every kind of county makes their own individual laws on whether or not a wolf dog is okay to own, what contents levels. So you get things like this, where Gallup says no to all wolf dogs, and Albuquerque, an hour and a half away, says yes to every single wolf content conceivable. So you can own a wolf dog that's 95% plus in Albuquerque,
I see.
which causes a lot of issues and problems.
Yeah. Could somebody from Albuquerque come out and adopt in a way?
It's kind of a strange system, but if the animal's currently in Gallup, then it'd be illegal for them to try to find that animal a home regardless.
Because you can't cut. I see.
Exactly. The exceptions are typically sanctuaries, so sometimes there are sanctuaries inside of our network even that will adopt animals that are basically low nose. So critters that have basically no wolf content at all would be successful in homes, and we rescue them, take them into these respective sanctuaries, and then try to adopt them out to a proper home. And that way it's a little bit more legal.
I see.
But it's a very tricky situation to deal with because the laws are so strange and inconsistent with these guys.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's interesting.
So my fun fact for Mr. Zane here is that when he was first taken in the Gallup, they were a little bit too afraid to actually go inside the shelter with them and interact with them. So no one actually knew that he was a boy. So his original name at the shelter was Penny.
Aww.
And it's only when he really arrived with us that we realized, oh, okay, yeah, that's actually male genitalia.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so it's not Penny.
So we're just doing a bucket swap right now to try to sanitize the buckets for them. So we'll kind of scoot over to Sarkin now. How you doing?
Hi, big boy.
This is a nice little comparison that you can make, but as I mentioned, that's a low content with Zane, and in here we've got a high content wolf dog. Sarkin was actually embarked to be about 89.8% wolf, so lots and lots in there. Originally we thought that he was going to be about 95% plus, but there were a few things that we could see visually that would indicate that he's probably not all the way that high, mainly his stature. He's a very short king. Handsome boy, but short king.
He's not tall? He looks taller than me.
Pretty short, relatively speaking.
Really? They get bigger, huh?
Wolves are actually very long, lanky animals. It's why people think they are so gargantuan. It's why Hollywood kind of makes them out to be these big beasts. In actuality, they're very slender, skinny animals.
Yeah.
With very long legs. Hi, buddy. But yes, with Mr. Sarkin here, he's currently alone, but he typically has his foster mother, Katniss, who raised him since he was just a little puppy.
Aww.
And sadly, Katniss was diagnosed with cancer, and she had actually a mast cell tumor that we just removed yesterday or 2 days ago. So she's currently in recovery right now, which means Sarkin's pretty lonely. We're hoping for a good prognosis for the future, but with mast cell tumors, it can be very difficult to really tell whether or not it's going to be successful, whether it's going to grow back, and whether or not it'll give her a proper quality of life. But we're going to keep a very close eye on it for her. And then, Mr. Sarkin's definitely feeling the loss, so he's extra friendly right now, coming straight up to the fences and saying hello. But if you'll see our signs right here, we typically color code for a difficulty in maintenance levels. So our greens are our easiest animals. So Katniss and Zane are green animals, and it's kind of two ends of a spectrum. Either it's an animal who's never going to approach you, so you're in no danger whatsoever, or an animal who loves to approach and interact with humans, so they're very friendly, and we don't really have to worry too much about any behaviors. And then we've got our yellows. There's someone in between that have a few behaviors we have to watch out for. Got to exercise a little bit of caution. And then our reds, like Sarkin here, are our danger boys. They're the ones that really keep us on our toes. And it doesn't necessarily mean that he's inherently an aggressive animal.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we get these animals from very mixed situations, so they come with baggage. It's much like entering a new relationship. You never know what's going to happen. Are you busted, buddy boy? That's not ideal.
That's right when you got the photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sarkin and Katniss actually came from Alabama together, and she raised him. This is a little puppy and treated him like she was her own, basically.
Aww.
But so much to the point where we actually do have to separate them for feedings, because otherwise Katniss will regurgitate her food into his mouth like he's still a little baby boy.
Really?
And he doesn't mind. He's 6 years old, way past maturity. Usually these guys reach sexual maturity between 2 and 4 years old. So he's a grown man now, but he's still like, yes, mother, please donate more food to me. I don't mind.
Oh, wow.
What's the wolf contract for Sarkin?
He is about 89.8%. So tons and tons of wolf in him. Very handsome boy, too.
He is.
But yeah, even despite the fact that, you know, he's categorized as a red animal or high maintenance, it doesn't mean that he's going to inherently try to attack us.
Yeah.
We are a free contact facility, so we do go in every single
I was gonna
enclosure.
ask, yeah.
I'm his primary caretaker as well, so I go in this enclosure with him.
That makes sense. So each person kind of has their own, they
Exactly.
create that bond. Oh, that's
And we
sweet.
try to do some fluctuations here or there, trade out. We can
Yeah.
keep our favorites, of course, are the ones that really need a particular person that have,
Aw.
you know, like Sarkin, for example. He's very particular about the humans he lets in. And it's
Yeah.
typically more male-centric. He typically likes men to come in the enclosure as opposed to females. And then you have the opposite end of the spectrum where a lot of animals feel differently.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, so we definitely play to whether or not, you know, the animal is comfortable with that person's presence and try to
Yeah.
reinforce a positive building bond.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's a good boy.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of like I mentioned though, you can never really predict a lot of things, but because these animals come from a lot of different housing situations, every animal you see on property is from the exotic pet trade. Not a single one comes to the wild except for our coyotes, or at least a
I
few of
see.
them.
So they have probably had a home at some point if it's exotic.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Look
And
at
they've been around
you.
people, been around humans, so they can't be released into the wild because they haven't been taught any hunting skills. And there's way too much of a relationship with humans. They'd be way too comfortable approaching them, probably get themselves shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially out here, or maybe not, but.
So this is Reba, and she's the one you can definitely say hi to.
Yeah.
So you can stick your fingers through and
Is
say
this a
hello.
wolf? What are you?
So she's a New Guinea singing dog. It's actually one of the rarest species on the planet today.
Huh.
There's only about 40 to 60 of them left in the wild. Absolutely, yeah. You can say right hi to her. And this is an enclosure we can actually go into as well. Hopefully Bolta will be okay with that. Good girl. Yeah,
He's
see
got a-
Reba?
Oh my goodness, what do you look like?
This is a female?
Cheater or something.
Yes. So Reba's the one in the corner here with you, and then this is Bowie, her little companion. And they haven't actually been together for too long. So originally, when we first rescued these guys from Pennsylvania, one man had 88 of them living inside of his home.
Wow.
So thankfully, we were able to rescue them from that hoarding situation, and we rescued 5 of them at that
I was about to say,
time.
did you get 88?
Thankfully not. That would have been overwhelming. They gave us a little bit of a run for our money, for sure. But we only had 5 to begin with, and Reba ended up going with a fellow named Bono and a gal named Princess, and then Bowie ended up going with a gal named Foxy because she kicked everybody out of the enclosure except for him. So she really liked Bowie. He was a special little guy. Only one that she'd tolerate, really.
They're cute.
They really are. They're just absolutely adorable, very affectionate, very friendly. So if you like, we could actually go around back here and actually step in the enclosure and say hi. So this is what we're now calling our animal encounters,
Yeah.
and it's a revision of our old ambassador program. And the main important things that we're changing right now are making sure that our ambassadors, or animals that we're entering enclosures with, aren't being exploited, and they're given a lot of choice. I should have warned you preemptively. He does not like men very much. He will alarm howl like this. Please do not be offended. And here, we can sit right inside here.
Honey.
I honestly don't even need this shuttle. It's okay, buddy. I know. You're all right.
Yeah.
There we go. Just close this behind you. So, every enclosure naturally has its own rules because everyone's a little bit different.
Yeah.
With these guys, very, very friendly. The only thing to keep in mind is that they do not like anyone reaching over them.
Are you listening? Don't like anyone reaching over.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we'll kind of, when we go inside the enclosure, we'll crouch down and kind of just get on their level more. They'll approach us, and then we can kind of, I usually start with a chin scratch for them. They might present the behind.
Yeah.
You know, whatever they present to you is absolutely okay.
Put my ankles in. Please crouch down, let them come to you. Come on, Maria. Hi.
And then yes, the more we ignore Balto, the better it'll be. So we
Yeah.
can go over this side of the
Okay.
enclosure
Yeah.
and kind of crouch down for them.
Hey, baby.
So they don't scamper into my little sub-enclosure.
The very puppies are the pettable puppies. Or not puppies, sorry. What are you? Singers?
Oh yeah, they're ancient at this point in time. So we rescued these guys actually 14 years ago. Actually 13 years ago.
Crouch down. Dad, crouch down.
And especially you guys, if you want to come over to this side of the enclosure
Okay.
so Balto feels more comfortable.
Honey.
Okay. Balto likes Ben.
You can stretch around this area.
So he doesn't howl at ya.
So yes, that's what's called an alarm howl. It basically indicates an animal's feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So they'll scream like that anytime they want someone to leave the area.
That helps me know why they howl at night. Maybe it's.
Yeah, so there's
Why do they
different
howl at
forms of
night?
Communication. It really kind of differs. Truly, one of the most common misconceptions, of course, wolves howling at the moon, when in actuality, wolves just communicate.
Right.
That's just how they speak. That's how they talk over long distances. So here we have them howling throughout the day, near constantly. We get some breaks like this for sure, but it's really anything interesting. We call it the gossip of the sanctuary. If there's something fascinating that happens, if we have a particular guest that walks on property and someone likes them, or maybe
Hi, you big
it's
boy.
feeding time and the ATV starts
You big
up.
boy.
There could be someone going on a walk, so they start talking about it. You'll just hear this lovely kind of chain start. with,
Yeah.
all the howls around the sanctuary.
I felt like we heard him last night. We hear him every night. We're so close.
Oh
so.
yeah. No doubt about it. And these guys are probably the loudest critter that you hear from the sanctuary. Their voice carries farther than anyone else's. So they're called the New Guinea singing dog because they have a very unique kind of dual lobe uvula that allows them to make this really interesting trilling sound, which is kind of like a song, but it's very interesting and beautiful. They're a lot older now, so their song is not quite as nice. It's mostly screaming at this point, which only makes it kind of travel even further. Hi, buddy. How you doing? You making?
Is he pretty old?
Yeah. So these guys are 13 at this point in
Oh
time.
my.
Which is absolutely ancient. So of the 88 animals that were rescued from Pennsylvania, these are the 2 last singing dogs remaining from that group.
Hmm.
Little stinker.
And so is it an average of 16?
For these guys, it's actually quite lower than that's mainly because of the genetic bottleneck that they have and the constant inbreeding that they've experienced.
I see.
Probably in the wild back in the day when they had a good genetic population, they probably lived 16
Longer.
to 18, even 20 years because they're a smaller dog breed.
Yeah.
But fortunately now these guys have horrific genetics to the point where these guys have the highest coefficient of inbreeding we have ever seen in an animal. It is 71%.
Wow.
And to give an idea, if an animal is 20%, it means that direct relatives resulted in that animal's birth.
Yeah.
So like sister and brother mated, and then that is the progeny is 20% coefficient of inbreeding.
Okay.
So they must have had series upon series upon series upon series of direct relatives breeding to get to a point of 71%.
It's good they got him then, right? That person, right? 'Cause that's,
Absolutely, and he just continued
There's a
to
lot
breed
of
the 4 sing dogs until he made, until he made 88 in total.
Oh.
You can see Mr. Bowie here is an absolute sucker. He loves people, he loves affection, but definitely getting up there in years. He's got a lot of lumps that are all benign, thankfully. He's having a little bit of struggles with mobility, but it's not really pain-based for him. He was diagnosed with partial vestibular disease, so kind of one of the vertebrae back here, the spinal cord, is a little bit askew in his loose attachment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why his head tilts a little bit to the right like that as well.
Yeah.
His balance is a little bit off. It's kind of like having vertigo.
I
Yeah.
was about to ask. He's got vertigo. No, I'm kidding.
And then little Reba there is kind of a lot more in better shape.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie.
She's really posing for you. She really does that little posture.
Come here. Hi, Shelby. Okay.
Yeah, they're a very fascinating little species, though. So these are, despite appearance, the apex predator of Papua New Guinea.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, this small little canine has been so successful in that environment, and they're so small because they want to be small to navigate those forests and
Just a reminder
have
to
quick
check off
navigation.
the water buckets that you did use.
And then they also have like a very interesting adaptation to be semi-arboreal.
Mm-hmm.
So their front
Arboreal.
legs allow them to actually rotate 180 degrees so they can climb trees really well, which is very
Wow.
unique for a canine. The only other canines that are really, better climbers are typically foxes.
Yeah.
But these little guys are really adapted to be able to do the same thing, but better.
You know,
They do a lot of their hunting in the trees. They love to do ambush predator styles as well. They can hunt in packs. They're really
so what would
good
they
at
do? They
it.
could jump up to the branch or
Oh
something?
yeah, sadly actually. When we first got these 5, there was so little information about New Guinea singing dogs in the world because they were thought to be extinct in the 1970s all the way up to 2012 till we finally found a new population. So when we got these guys in around 2013, there was almost nothing known about them. And when we first popped them to the enclosure, it was exactly this enclosure with this large one.
They have beautiful mascara. Or white mask.
There we go.
Have fun with your tour.
Oh, sorry, we're stopping you from that.
Yeah, it's okay.
At least
I
you
still
come
get
back
my
with.
reward. But yes, these little stinkers, when we first got them, we popped those in this enclosure, all 5 of them. And the first thing they did is start climbing this tree right in the middle and jump outside the
Oh,
enclosure.
wow.
Oh man.
So they're really great escape artists, amazing at it. In fact, they can even dislocate their shoulders and pop out of any gap that their head fits through.
Yeah.
So very, very difficult. But thankfully, great at escaping, not great at staying escaped.
Hmm.
As
I
soon as they
see.
get out, they'll run straight to you for love and affection. So
Oh,
you're
I
like,
see.
"Hi, honeys," and just pop them right back in.
Aw,
So we had to
that's
learn pretty
cute.
quick when we first got them, but now they have no desires at all. They just stay in here, lounge around, and enjoy their lives.
Lovely. Oh.
Yeah, New Guinea singing dog is such a fascinating little breed.
Do you have enrichment activities?
Oh, absolutely. Exactly. We need enrichment coordinator.
Yeah.
So I'm very big on enrichment as well as keeping everything novel. So we have 100 unique enrichments at our facility, and we try to rotate them out. So basically every 3 to 4 months, we'll have completely new enrichments that come in, and keep things fresh and interesting and new for them because there's not much purpose in enrichment. Oh, absolutely, yes. There's not much purpose in enrichment if they're just experiencing the same thing over and over again, right? So we try to keep that variation, that novelty, especially with these animals, because the one behavioral trait that actually differs between dogs and wolves reliably is neophobia. The wolf is inherently neophobia, afraid of new things. Which is a big part why Big Stinker here will always scream at every new man, "You're doing great though, buddy."
Hi, buddy. You a good baby, huh? Yeah. Ooh, good dog.
We'll mosey along, my friend.
Okay, let's go.
Loud.
You might be able to tell by his jaw, but that bottom jaw is a little bit askew to the right.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to tell. As I mentioned, there are lots of these animals come with baggage, but sometimes there are clues left behind. So he's clearly abused in his past, so there's a possibility there's abused by a man, which is why he's more fearful towards male and male-presented people as well. He's really quite a sweet, sweet angel boy, though.
Yeah.
And if you build enough relationship with him, he'll be your best friend in the world. So me, for example, I can go in this enclosure, I can give him pets, I can pretty much give him scratches anywhere. It's okay, buddy boy. So we'll move along to skip over the next enclosure. We can talk about him from here. And funny enough, he's never going to back down. He'll follow us and keep screaming.
See you later.
There he is
Is that
back
better
there.
for you, pal?
Yeah, you see him back there?
What?
The baby back here, what is his name?
I see him back there, yeah. He's big.
There's 2 of them, right, in here?
Yep, so we've got Fenris and Freya.
Oh, look at this thing.
Actually, I might do something for you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to stay here for the time being.
You see, he's behind us. Oh, he's sleeping.
Bad.
Huh?
What's that?
Yeah, did not good that.
That's a big dog.
Da-da-da.
Look at that black one.
Oh, look at him. Hi, baby. I like that one in there. The one that's laying down. That's the most wolfy. Did you see him? Did you get a photo of him?
I didn't get a picture.
Oh, the coolest wolf.
I didn't want to scare Artemis.
Oh, there he is. They know what that is.
Oh yeah, that instant shift.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to divide little treats in between you. You. Here as well.
Awesome.
And we're actually going to double back to Mr. Volvo here.
Get a picture of the
Right through the chain link, especially when you're standing right here. Feel free to toss in, and Artemis will try to snag a few pieces herself. And this is a master class in canine behavior. You see the complete shift in how he's behaving now. Food is the miracle drug.
Don't get too close.
So if you guys would like to toss in now.
Here, you got it. Can you make it in? Aww.
There you go. So watch that tail posture. Watch how he's actually stiff or wiggly. You know, as soon as that food comes in, he starts wiggling around. He's a lot more loose in his body posture.
So this one back here, she.
So this is little Artemis, the goddess of the hunt.
I gotta do my
She's
right
actually
hand.
from Texas originally, from a breeder who decided that, well, she realized that she had some sort of health condition but didn't have the money to diagnose it, so she ended up giving her to a sanctuary in hopes that she'd just be able to be an ambassador for the species. Okay.
Aww, go find it. You got it?
Good job.
Aww. Thank you for doing that.
You're a good boy, huh?
So much better for him as well. So you can see that behavior shift. He's still in our presence. He might go back to alarm howling.
Yeah.
Or just might keep with Chucks. But you basically just shook hands with a wolf dog.
That's right.
Balto here is 78%, so he's still mid content. And then Artemis there is 89%, so 100,000 scent receptors on their nose and muzzle.
There you got it.
10 times more than humans.
Oh, yeah. Oh my
But
god.
amazingly, they have a few different adaptations that make it even more incredible. So you can see on the side of their nose, they've got those slits right on the side.
Yeah.
Those are called nasal clefts. It actually allows them to recycle a scent. So they can sniff something once and keep it on repeat in their nose for eternity if they want to. Really remarkable. Or they could also balance two different scents at the same time and kind of cycle between them to track two different prey items. But the most incredible thing about the canine nose is something called the Jacobson's organ. This is something that humans have, but it's vestigial. We no longer use it. But because of their incredible sense of smell combined with the Jacobson's organ, they can detect chemo signals like nobody else. So when people say that they can smell your fear,
Yeah.
they can smell a lot more than that.
Oh wow.
Just by you putting that treat in your hand,
Yeah.
tossing it in,
Okay, hi.
he's just smells you and he knows everything about you. He knows your current health state, he knows your current emotional state, he knows how much testosterone you have in your body, how much estrogen you have in your body, everything.
Wow.
Absolutely remarkable and also a little bit invasive.
Yeah, right? You know I'm a good boy.
Is that organ more developed in different breeds? Or?
Typically it's either there or not there, but it's really enhanced by the fact that they have such an incredible sense of smell. With 100,000 scent receptors combined with that Jacobson's organ, incredible. It really allows them to see the world in a whole different way that we couldn't even possibly imagine. Imagine you could basically just like walk up to a friend and give one sniff and you know everything about them at that moment. It's basically like telepathy in many ways. It's okay, Chucky.
Must be hormones, huh?
Very much so. But yeah, even horses, for example. Horses are a big one where people always say like, you can be very calm with horses. Horses can detect your fear as well. That's correct. They also have a Jacobson's organ. There's an extensive
interesting.
one. It's really quite remarkable. But not quite as impressive as these guys right here. Hi, buddy boy. But yeah, that's the big thing. Why you need to be calm with those sorts of animals is because, yes, they can detect basically the adrenaline in your system. They know how adrenalized you are, but they can never predict what you're going to use that adrenaline for. Are you going to fight, flight, or freeze? They have no idea, so they always have to be on edge when they feel any anxiety like that. So the most important thing with working with these animals is just to be. We've got stable mode.
So you're saying if I ran into a wolf, be calm?
Absolutely.
Don't
Be
run.
calm and don't run.
Yeah, don't run. Okay.
That's the funny thing, right? Is another thing that Hollywood kind of promotes is how dangerous wolves are and the likelihood of a wolf attack. But there has not been a wolf attack on a human that has not been caused by rabies or some sort of form of disease for the animals not in their right mind for probably about 100 years now. It just does not happen. Oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah, if a person goes into their territory and antagonizes them intentionally or tries to hurt them, absolutely they will defend their den, they'll defend that, but even then they rarely kill. I'm not sure if he's gonna come up.
That's okay.
Benny baby, you want a treat? Love you. We've got free food, we promise.
It'll be a nice little treat when it comes.
That's all right.
That's okay, yeah, no worries.
He'll get it when he wants to.
Yeah. Keep going.
And naturally doing that to make quote-unquote dire wolves has zero benefits. That is not something we ever needed to do. But it has actual scientific merit if they went a different direction. But yeah, it's really quite tragic with these guys, especially because yes, Fenris and Freya are brother and sister. They had a litter of puppies, and then that breeder decided to actually breed one of their children back to Freya, create another line.
There's a big boy.
Situation.
Get that one.
You friendly.
Hi, this is Beanie Baby, as I call her. Her name in the gift shop and online is Beans, but here we call her Dahlia primarily because she had two names and we just like certain ones better.
Yeah.
So she's an absolute sweetheart. She's one you can definitely pet through the fence. I'll just tell you, if he does get up and walk over, just retreat your fingers. Do not pet anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, she will love you. And just to show you how safe it is, I can stick my fingers in this animal's mouth if she'll hurt it down here.
Oh, just a bag.
Absolutely capable of putting fly. She's a darling angel.
Oh.
So these two are quite a unique little pair. They're
You're a
very
good
Put your
baby.
finger in there.
But both individuals actually come from people who were kind of very good owners
Yeah.
that ran into difficult situations.
Yeah.
And that's the case, right? It's not black and white. Not all owners are bad. Not all breeders are bad necessarily. There are some good ones out there. And sometimes they just run into difficult times. So with Beans, she was actually owned by someone who used to own and run a wolf sanctuary
Oh, I
herself.
see.
So who better to rescue these animals and give them a proper home than someone who has done this their entire lives. But unfortunately, she got a new home in a different county in Texas.
Yeah.
And because there's so many counties in Texas, everybody disagrees on what's okay.
Oh, I see.
She entered a place where it was illegal to own wolf dogs. What did you say?
That one.
Oh yes, that's Frisco.
But I don't know nothing. Look at you. These little dabsy ears.
So there's some things we're not meant to mention on tours, but I trust you folks.
Yeah.
So funny enough, we very rarely have animal escapes, but Frisco has been giving us a run for our money. So we just constructed 18 new enclosures in Block 5 with materials that aren't necessarily ideal, but we've always kept animals that are, not as quite as difficult, not escape artists, animals that are just going to be okay in there. But she's been digging out consistently.
Oh man.
So she's here in a vacation home at the moment until we can fix the problem back there, so she can stop trying to leave her enclosure because she just so desperately wants to be around people. So the enclosure's too far in the back. She wants to see humans, so she digs right out, comes to see us.
Aww.
Oh, I like it though.
And that's the funny thing is many times with wolves, they dig for a purpose, right? They only dig to be able to basically go to the den, or maybe for if it's too warm outside, so they want to basically get the cool place. They don't really dig to escape necessarily. But dogs dig for fun. They dig to escape.
Yeah.
So she's been really funny in that way. She's barely any wolf. She's got maybe 5% wolf in her, not a lot at all.
Yeah.
She's a little bit of a door crasher. We might be able to go and say hi to her.
Yeah.
At the very least, we can pet her if they're baby darling.
So you don't let any of them kind of go free, right? Around?
Oh no. wire fence all around, so even if you do have an animal escape, you've always got a second layer of defense. And the free roaming aspect, we always just do leash train these guys for the most part. So many of these kids can't actually go out on a walk that's very controlled.
Yeah.
But we always keep them inside of this perimeter just to be on the safe side. Yeah, I'd say about 40% of our population is leash trained.
Yeah.
It's really quite good.
Yeah.
You ready? Yeah, she's a sweet baby darling. There's not a mean bone in this girl's body, so feel free just to stick your hand right through and give her some pets and give her some love. She'll appreciate it.
Oh,
Hi, little Stan. How you doing? Girl.
all right.
So little Frisco here is actually from a different sanctuary called Indigo Mountain Nature Center.
Okay.
And unfortunately, their founder passed away last year. So we had this whole project going where we were trying to raise enough money for us to procure that property to save all those animals' lives and keep their homes for them. Unfortunately, the property was sold before we could make that happen.
Oh no.
So we had to shift our plans quite drastically, and we ended up having to take all 22 animals from that sanctuary, bring them here, build whole new enclosures and homes for them. It's been crazy the last year.
Good for you guys though. Man, it's kind of a perfect spot too. You can kind of, hopefully you have more land to keep going and going, right?
Pretty much all right. Yeah, the nice thing is we have amazing locals, amazing people in the community who keep buying us property or donating their property when they pass away. So we've got probably about 100 acres in total around it here. But our primary sanctuary is on 20 acres right now. And we just used the last of our space to build these 18 enclosures for these kiddos. But we just finished. It's really remarkable that we actually got this done in the time frame that we had. But it's been really amazing to do.
So if you're a Rich Fit coordinator, are you building too, or do you have people come out?
Oh yeah, we all wear so many hats around here.
Imagine.
Yeah, so I'm a zoologist, I'm an animal care specialist, I'm our enrichment coordinator, I'm a web and media developer as well, I'm a training program coordinator.
Oh my God.
Lots of work. And
You
the president of the
live
board of directors.
Are you at least close by? Near?
Oh, thankfully, yeah. I literally live right up the hill there. It's a 2-minute walk to my
You're a
house.
media on call then. Oh,
And that's pretty much all of our staff members, since we're so in the middle of nowhere. Either they live in Candy Kitchen like yourself, or we just live right on property, genuinely in little hogans or little structures around the area, or right across the street. We've got another property down there about 5 minutes, and we've got another home there. But basically, we all just live right here and live here full time.
Aw.
Good, sweet girl.
Mm.
Sweet, how fun.
She thinks she's like, okay, when are you gonna open the door?
Normally I would, but she loves to door crash. She'll try to escape on us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sneaky bugger.
Do you design the enclosures before you build them, or do you just kind of
Typically they're nice and easy. It's pretty much the same format every time. So once you do them once, you kind of get them all down. But it's really about fitting into a proper amount of space and kind of understanding the ecology and the needs of the individual. So if we have an older animal, we basically want to ensure it's flatter ground, that there's not a lot of obstacles, and that it's kind of smaller so it doesn't really encourage that much activity. And then for our bigger kids and the animals that are young and fit and happy and healthy, we want to build a larger enclosure. So typically our older fellows get around 50 by 50 enclosures. And then our youngers get around 80 to 80 or 100 by 100. So lots and lots of space for it. Continue our theme to talk through here as well. See if they want to say hi to us. But these guys are Jethro and Muhulu. Jethro is the one on the left, Muhulu is on the right. And these kids remarkably are actually from the Ohio Fur Farm Rescue.
Oh.
We ended up going to Ohio to rescue a bunch of animals that were unfortunately in really horrific conditions. Basically a man who ran this organization for collecting fur and urine passed away, leaving 450 animals on the property uncared for. And really, it's sad to say, but quite a blessing that we were able to get in there and save their lives, because it was unlimited time for them. They were kept in very small cages, designed to basically just collect all the urine that they had, so really just great bottoms. Really terrible for their feet, for their legs, for their skeletal structure. A lot of them were atrophied in their muscles as well. And then once they reach around like a year or two, sexual maturity is usually when they be instantly killed for their pelt.
Oh,
So we're able to take them out of that situation. We rescued 14 of those animals in total.
nice.
And it's just remarkable to see how friendly, how affectionate they are.
After all of that, yeah.
They've been through so much. They must have so much trauma. And despite that, there's still a lot of trust in these little guys.
Aww.
But yeah, you can see this, right? 3 new strangers standing right in front of them. Neither is
Not
even
even
getting
phased.
up. I think Jethro's still sleeping.
Yeah.
Blame the heat a little. No.
So it's remarkable to see. Imagine an animal who has never been socialized truly in their entire lives, but despite that fact, they have no fear of you. They're totally okay just laying here, which is a very vulnerable thing to do around humans. All right. And the sex enclosure, we can also go inside. I can't promise they'll come up to anybody
Yeah.
because they've been a little bit lazy recently with this kind of weather.
That's okay.
It's already lounging.
Cool.
But this enclosure is Quinn and Leica, and they actually come all the way from California.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, so
Here
basically,
you are.
one woman had 60 exotic animals living inside of her home.
Ooh.
She had wolf dogs, she had felines, exotic birds, exotic reptiles, all of them. So we were able to get in there. Basically what happened is one wolf dog ended up escaping. I'm not sure if you know who Meredith Brooks is, but she's a songwriter that actually lives in California. And she actually saw this wolf dog running around. She went on a mission to track down where the wolf came from and tracked it back to this home. And that'll actually allow animal control to come in, seize the animals, and get them proper housing.
Aw.
But in the interim, the sad part is, naturally, that is not a nice environment for these animals
Yeah.
to be stuck in a shelter, to be stuck in a small box, especially
yeah.
because these guys' mother was pregnant at the time and gave birth to them inside that shelter. And it's really hard to convey what happens to a mother when they're stuck in that environment.
Yeah.
But they do not become very good parents, I'll put it like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's all about survival at that
I
point.
understand. Yeah.
So for these kids right here, as I mentioned, every enclosure is a little bit different. But these kids are big on scent rubbing. So they will very much like to enjoy coming up and rubbing all over you if they actually get
If
up.
they want it, yeah.
But naturally, not a guarantee. It is lazy time.
Yeah, we're right in the sun. I wouldn't come to me either. I wouldn't. Aw. Okay. I know, I see him.
So that's Quinn on the left, over by the fence, and then Leica's enjoying the shade structure right there. And interestingly enough, these guys are crepuscular, which means they're active during dawn and dusk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is not the time of day they would ever want to be active.
Yeah.
They make the exception for us because they're
Yeah.
caretakers. This is our routine. Like, we need to be awake during these times in business hours. So this is what we need to feed and do things. So they kind of adjust to our schedule a little bit, but still moderate energy. So during these bits of the day, they're typically a lot more aloof and typically want us to relax and enjoy themselves. So lots of basking, typically just spending their own time. This is actually really great to see. So I was talking about earlier with kind of why we're making these moderations with educational encounters.
Yeah.
Because they're used to working with us. They
Yeah.
see us all the time, and there's a very, very small number of people that they start to get accustomed to.
Yeah.
Bye, kids.
Do you sequence their genetics before you pair them up? Or is there a chance that they'll mate?
Typically, we always spay and neuter, thankfully. There's only some exceptions where we don't, like if the animal has von Willebrand's disease, which is the blood clotting disease, or if the animal's too old. But even then, we just pair them with an animal.
Hello, baby.
Just to prevent us from being part of the problem, right? There's already massive oversaturation of these animals, and we're kind of the last stop, right? The last thing that can possibly give them
Yeah.
solace. So when all else fails, the only place these animals can go is a sanctuary or be euthanized, sadly.
Sanctuary it is.
Sanctuary it is, exactly. But even then, we get so many requests every single year that there's not a lot we can do. Sometimes it's a drop in the ocean, but
Yeah.
we do everything that's possible. So as we kind of mentioned, these animals can't really go back to can't really go to the wild in general. And if they don't work out in the household, they really have nowhere else to go. So what a sanctuary is kind of like a 5-star hotel for them to spend the rest of their days. Is that in-between state, not quite wild, not quite a household, not quite domestic. It's just a place that they can go that they can actually be safe forever. And keep them in a positive house and a lovely place, and make sure they've got a quality of life here, so that even though they don't really truly belong in this world in many regards, sadly, because of what humans have done.
Sounds like they get good food from him.
Exactly. We built a little niche for them. We built it.
Oh, well, thank you. My goodness.
All right, well, that's the extent of our tour today.
Okay.
But the nice thing about it is you're very welcome to explore as much as you want. We close at 4, and you can just enjoy, revisit your favorites, do as you please. You can, of course, eat your lunches. If you got food here at our picnic tables anywhere. We've got a comment board right here if you want to pick out your favorite rescue or leave a comment.
Oh, we will.
Enjoy your gift shop.
Well, it's really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the wonderful tour and all the information.
You're the exact person I want.
Thank
Thank you. You're
Wonderful.
so sweet.
I'm glad.
Aw.
Well, I always like to end my tour by saying, genuinely, thank you so much for coming, because we are a non-profit organization, non-government funded. Just by virtue of you being here, taking this tour today, you help us taking these photos and putting them online. Continue to pass along the word. Like, that is how we actually make sure that we can take care of these animals.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It was lovely meeting you.
All righty, well, thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day.
No. Give you some money. I know you got the money.
Yeah. You give him some.
Give me all the money.
Where did we come in? Over there.
I like to put them in the middle. I love the poopy in the middle.
Poopy? Is that what his name was?
The puppy. I don't know what his name was. Frisco. Beautiful woofs.
Woofs.
Beautiful woofs.
Huh.
Okay.
Smoky dokey.
Ready? Alright, want to get your gift shop idea?
Yeah.
We're going to get the big wolf.
I'm gonna get 2 little wolves and 1 wolf for the baby.
No big wolf, huh? They should get a wolf depending on the size. Because Liv's the oldest, right? Oh, careful.
Liv is the oldest.
Yeah. Wolf locked it. Alright. 1. You.
And then one of these little guys over there.
Ooh. Look at that one. That one's ready to go. That's cute.
Let's go and give my mom a mug or something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The wolf one?
Yeah, it's got to be a wolf one, don't it?
Yeah, it does. What? That one?
Oh, I have this.
What you do?
I give it to you. At house. I found it somewhere. I think it was this one or something.
What's up?
These ones a little better.
What is it?
Cool, cool.
Cool. Hang on. Look at them.
Oh.
There's a cute little thing.
Okay, I'm ready. You ready?
Pick one up.
Hmm?
These are for you.
Josie. No.
You want hat, David?
Oh, no.
He's ready.
I got lots of hats.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How was your tour?
Oh, it was
It's
he's
good,
so
thanks.
good. His best tour I ever had.
This is the hat he wants.
Oh, yeah. Dude, my dad did that.